about Jesus fulfilling it, and we talked about Jesus had to fulfill it as a man because God couldn't fulfill man's end. Man had to fulfill man's end. God had his end. The first covenant was, if you do this, then you can have this. So Jesus did that, walked sinless, never missed the mark ever, was perfect. And it says that on that tree, he who knew no sin became sin so that we might become the righteousness of God in him. It's the cross. So Jesus, who knew no sin, never missed it, never, ever, ever did anything to miss it. Perfect in every way. Man, Jesus was tempted at all points. We haven't yet been tempted at all points. Imagine having a soul, a mind that's perfect, and being tempted at every point. We can't even. But Jesus, he was without sin. Yet he became sin. Imagine having a soul that never sinned and becoming sin. That's crazy. It says the chastisement of our peace was upon him. And so many times we're frustrated, we're flustered, we're outside of peace, we're outside of rest, but we're hoping to get the things that Jesus says that we're supposed to have. And we stress and we war and we fight and we argue and I'm right, you're right, and wrong, and this, that, and the other thing. And all of a sudden we build these walls inside of our own church. Of what this will, and a lot of times it's built on our experiences that didn't happen. And we share the reason why it didn't at the cost of truth that sets people free. And we cause division. And it's the love of God. It's the love of God. So Jesus, who knew no sin, became sin so that we might become something. If we become it. Man, if the prophets prophesied about, they said there's going to be a day. There's going to be a day when righteousness apart from the law was going to be imputed. Abraham, Romans 4, imputed righteousness. Abraham, it wasn't just there. That story's not just there for him. It's there for us. Come on, because it was by faith that Abraham trusted God. By faith. So all of a sudden we've got that same thing. By faith we trust God and it's accounted. Righteousness is laid up into our account. The prophet said there's got to be a day. It's going to be awesome. We can't have it, but we can see it. Wow, they're going to have it. We're excited for them. And sometimes we lose the excitement because life comes and squeezes us. And stuff that we should have seen, we didn't see. So all of a sudden we get a beef with God. We get an anger with God. Or worse yet, somebody in the church, and this is a big, huge deal. Somebody in the church hurts us. And we say, well, you know what? They should have known better. Well, the reality is that's true. But you should have known better than to be hurt by something that they should have known better to do. So let's settle that thing. Get over yourself. If you don't, you'll have that stuff, and it won't last, and you won't stand before God, and it won't work. Well, God, you know, if they wouldn't have treated me like that. Come on, man, I'm talking the truth here. Everywhere I travel, this is a major thing. It's major. Church hurt. Man, come on. I get to go to places I travel, and they have these wound-licking clubs. Where they sit there and they nurture each other's hurts. And they say, well, they did this to me. Well, they did this. And they one-up each other on their pain and dilemma. Man, we ought to not have that stuff in our mouth. We ought to see people for their creative value. It's just good preaching. I promise, man, that thing is amazing. If that gets cleaned out of your heart, you'll be amazed at what will happen. And you won't be sitting there wondering and regret. Regret produces death, man. There's nothing good in it at all. And you holding something against somebody will kill you and eat your lunch, man. And every day, you invite demonic stuff into your life when you can't let that stuff go. And that's twisted. The will of God is Jesus Christ, man. If anybody had the right to have an attitude, it was him. Come on, guys. Imagine this. Jesus. Imagine this. Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus. Guys, listen. I need you to watch and pray. Because I'm about to be taken, okay? Listen, just watch and pray. That's all I need you to do. I'll be a stone's throw away. So Jesus is praying. It's a pretty intense time because he's about to be separated from God. So Jesus is praying, and all of a sudden it gets done. Doesn't say how lengthy the time was, but he went back and they're sleeping. Imagine Jesus. Are you kidding me? Really? You said you love it. You don't really love it. Look, come on. That's not love. Guys, wake up. Oh, hey. All I've asked you to do is watch and pray for a few minutes. Don't you care about me? I'm okay. I'll be back. Well, it didn't just happen once. He's about to be taken. He's about to give his life for the